Welcome to Next to Madison, a podcast to help you live your best life.
Hey, welcome to another great episode of Next to Madison. I am your host, Madison Malloy, and on today's podcast, we are talking all sorts of topics from mediums to fitness, the importance of protein, the law of assumption, gratitude exercises, multivitamins to take, the best skincare procedures, the best face mask. This has a little bit of everything in it for you. Positivity, look good, feel good, think good. This is the episode for you. So we will be right back after this brief message with our guest on this episode of Next to Madison, episode 195.
Hey, it's Madison Malloy. I'm excited to announce that my new book, Time to Lighten the Fuck Up, is now available online and in stores. You can pick up your copy today by going to Amazon or barnesandnoble.com. This new book is a humorous self-help guide to help you remove the obstacles that are holding you back so you can take things less seriously and live a more enjoyable life. I'm so excited for you to read it. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. We are here with our amazing guest on this episode of Next to Madison. I've got with me the host of the Fitness Diaries Podcast, Lisa Rapp. What is shaking, girlfriend?
How are you? Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have you here. This is going to be fun because we're going to talk about your podcast, but we're going to talk about fitness. We're going to talk about skin treatments. We're going to talk about dating, all that stuff. But first, I want to go into, because you also are a host of a medium psychic podcast.
Yeah, so my first platform was Medium Rare. Okay, so my first platform was Medium Rare with Lisa, where I interviewed mediums and psychics. And I still have that, and I do it like once a month. I normally do a show once a month on that.
Okay.
And then I was working for a kids television show, and I used to actually film that show every Wednesday at 3:00 on Facebook. It was live. It was great. It was fabulous. And then we had this little thing called COVID.
Yes.
So that, but also before COVID, I had met Caitlin, who's no longer with the podcast. We met at Rumble, and we started the Fitness Diaries podcast. And so now the Fitness Diaries podcast is just me, and it's a lot of fun. And yeah.
I think that's amazing. So real quick, because we're going to put the majority of the focus on the Fitness Diaries, but I want to talk about the mediums and the psychics. So how do you find these people to talk to, and how accurate do you actually think they are?
So funny you ask. So when I lived in LA for 10 years before I moved to New York. And I used to go to a place every week called the Psychic Eye on Ventura Boulevard.
Okay.
And every fucking week, like I had to stop.
Yeah, you did.
There was this lady, her name was Ellen, may she rest in peace, because she passed away, and she was a phenomenal woman. I came in one day and she was like, I never want to see you in here again. Those were the exact words. She goes, you're here way too much and you're fucking up the energy. And she explained all this stuff to me. She explained to me, readings are for entertainment, but they're also for you to do once a year, maybe twice a year. It's a guide, and to take everything with a grain of salt, because bottom line is you are in charge of your own destiny. But I was still always, and nothing that they ever said happened, except, no, that's not true. The one gal, Bev, that I went to see, she said I would be in New York and I would get the dream. So I'm in New York.
Yeah.
So when I moved here, I met a friend who got me into, she's like, oh, you host, what do you do? Do you still act? Because I'm acting, hosting. And we started Medium Rare with Lisa. And if you also notice, Medium Rare with Lisa is spelled with 2 I's because she made a mistake, but I've always kept it because I think it's the coolest thing ever.
Okay.
Finding mediums and psychics, I had a list because I've always, researched and just knew the good ones, knew the bad ones. And so I reached out to everyone. When I moved here is when I found out about Frank Andrews. And Frank Andrews is a very well-known New York psychic medium. And he lives down on Mott Street, and he has a red door. So if you're at, I think it's Mott and Prince.
Okay.
The townhouse with the red door, that's him. I'm sure he's going to love the fact that I just said that, but no big deal. He's retired. And he used to be friends with Andy Warhol. And
Okay.
you need to go back and listen to that episode because that's like creepy crazy. So he also had said to me, remember everything, take with a grain of salt. Da, 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 da. So I always had a list of mediums and psychics. There's been good ones, there's been bad ones. You just kind of learn. You just kind of don't go to these people on the street, especially in New York. Like,
No.
don't go in. No. And these TikTok people, like some of them are kind of good, like you can hear them, but don't pay those people. Don't pay the people on Instagram. Like,
Yeah.
you kind of know certified certain people. I have 5 that I refer people to.
Okay.
Gucci is phenomenal. Francisco, I think I'm saying his name wrong because I always do. Maria is really good. Jeffrey Wands is phenomenal, but Jeffrey is also very expensive. There's a lot of gifted people, but the one thing that I know we're going to talk about, when you start changing your mindset, you find out you don't need the mediums and psychics.
I like that, but go into that further so the listeners fully understand what you mean.
When you start focus, so I do a lot now of, I follow this gal Flora from my Manifesting Bestie. Someone else you should try and get on this podcast because she's fabulous.
Okay.
And she lives in the law of assumption. So if you follow Esther Hicks and Joe Dispenza, like, you can change your mindset and everything that you're trying to do. And a lot of people think, well, like, because Esther Hicks talks about the vortex and everything you want is in the vortex. But how do you get there? Well, you have to keep yourself at a high vibration to get there. And with Flora, it's all about your mindset and acting as if you already have the things you want. So being a successful TV host, podcast host, you want to be a millionaire, you want to win the lottery, you want that guy that you have a crush on at work to ask you out. You want, to get the penthouse, apartment down in Wall Street. You can manifest all those things by changing your mindset. But the catch is you have to believe it. And you have to feel it. You have to get excited. When you get upset about something, you have to snap out of it. Give yourself 5 seconds to flip out, but then get back into your mindset and get back into, oh my God, I have this. I mean, this book is like filled with all kinds of stuff because that's it. I write things every morning. I do affirmations. But I literally go into the bathroom, I'm not kidding, so many times at work. And the things that I say are, everything is always working out for me and my higher self. I am safe. And this situation, only good can come from whatever the situation is that I'm worried about.
And so every time you go to the bathroom, you're doing these affirmations.
Yes, because I'm mostly going to the bathroom because something's frustrating me or something happened.
Yeah.
So I'm like going to the bathroom and be like, okay. And I have to keep myself at a high vibration at all times. Don't get me wrong, we all have bad days, but I manifested this new job, which is fabulous.
I love it.
I manifested, there was someone that we were in it was a strange friendship. A lot of craziness happened. And he actually kind of like restricted me. And I was like, what the fuck? And then he unrestricted me.
Interesting.
Like,
okay.
But I'm saying, like, those were, it was weird. Like,
yeah.
Like, why did you even do that? Like, and then it was like, okay, because I changed my mindset and how I thought about the process.
Yeah. No, I like that. And the other thing I was thinking when you were talking too about kind of the psychics and the mediums is maybe a reason that some of the predictions come true for people is that when they hear this person say it, then they assume it to be real. So maybe the psychics actually help you to believe it more if you can't naturally get into that law of assumption. That's where it's right.
Yeah. And I also think the energy, like, somehow I don't know how some people know certain things. I when I was a little girl, I had this cat named Tasha, and she was like the best cat ever. She was my favorite cat. I had to give her away, but she went to my mom's best friends, and she lived for like 18 years. And a few years ago, I was interviewing this one medium, and I had always asked them to stay open and if anything comes through. And she said, okay, I have a cat that's coming through that says, tell her she'll want to talk to me. She loves me. She loves me. Tell her about the boat. Well, I about died because my mom gave my cat Tasha to her friend and her husband, and they used to go on the boat all the time. So Tasha was on a boat every week.
That's unbelievable. I know. And it, you know what, it's comforting too, that we know that our pets pass over and that we will see them again and that they're still watching out for us because their lives are not long enough.
Right. No, they're not.
Like, oh gosh, I know my little one's 2.5 and I'm just like, I don't want to think about that.
No, and you don't have to.
No, not anytime soon, thank God. But yeah, but it's crazy thinking about that. But I like the law of assumption. So what are you practicing every day? You're doing your affirmations.
Every day I do Kundalini meditation. Every day I listen to Esther Hicks and Joe Dispenza, and I listen to whatever stuff. Oh, I have to. When I tell you that,
wow.
Because I want things to change, and I want to see all the growth, and I want these things to happen, and I'm the only one that can make that happen. And the only way to do that is to change my mindset and to stay in the high vibrational place that I want to be in and always be happy. And I know people are going to watch this and be like, okay, she's whacked, but I'm not.
Right.
You have to start realizing that you are the only thing that matters, and you need to fall in love with yourself, because no man, no friend is going to change that for you. And unless you start loving yourself and treat yourself like you're the queen that you deserve to be, or the king, it's just, you can't stay in that. Like, if you watch people, like, you can change your whole life in a year. And this is the year that Lisa Rapp is going to change your whole fucking life.
I love that. I absolutely, I think that's great. So you said you listen to Esther Hicks and who? Joe Dispenza?
I listen to Esther Hicks every day. I listen to Joe Dispenza every morning, and I try and I've kind of slacked the last few weeks because of the holidays and stuff, but normally I do Kundalini meditation every day.
Wow. Okay. So when you say you listen to them, is there like is it a podcast? Is it a recording? Like, how are you?
Things on YouTube, different informational videos and stuff that I'm trying to listen to. Before this, I was listening to Esther Hicks.
Okay.
Joe does a good morning meditation that I really like.
Uh-huh.
And I always start my day, like when I get up in the morning, like I just don't get up. Like I get up, I kind of like do little massages, like with the face yoga. I know everybody's like, okay, what is this girl?
No.
But that's just what I do. If you're asking, I'm going to be honest and tell you. And then I listen to like some chanting music to kind of wake me up, and then do morning stretches, and then do a meditation, and then I have my hot lemon water and then start my day.
I love that. So it's the hot lemon water we've talked about on this podcast with gut health experts. Do you do coffee after that, or are you kind of?
Oh, I do. Yeah. But because now I have to be at work so early, I have coffee. I stop at Starbucks and then I.
Perfect. Okay. So that's perfect. Okay. That works out. Yeah. Cause I've talked about it too with multiple people, like how your morning routine just so shapes your life, and your bedroom or your home is really just an external image of what's going on in your mind. And I remember when somebody said that to me, and usually like I'm very like clean and organized, but lately I've been a little like scattered. Like if you saw my desk, there's like files here, papers here, and I'm like, this is not me. What's going on?
Wait, the one like you saw, I cleaned up over, like it's just
yeah. I'm like, I gotta start making that happen. Okay, so let's get into your other podcast, which is the Fitness Diaries podcast. So you are really big on fitness. So I want to have you give some like, what are your top 3 fitness tips to help women and men get in the best shape of their life this year?
My fitness tips that I've learned is protein.
Yes.
Lift heavy and eat meat.
Yes.
And totally. And take your vitamins.
Okay. What are you taking?
So I take a lot of stuff because now I'm a lot older than I look. And when you hit your late 30s and your 40s, things change.
Yes.
Oh, and drink a ton of water.
Cheers.
I
love it.
So I take a multivitamin, but I actually take a prenatal vitamin because I feel women that are in my age group that may want kids, I think they need to prepare their body. So I think that they should have a prenatal vitamin.
Okay.
I take vitamin D.
Yep.
And I take a calcium, magnesium at night.
Talk about that. There's been a lot of stuff popping up on TikTok and Instagram about the importance of magnesium and how it helps you sleep.
Helps you sleep. It helps your joints. It helps your muscles. It helps with your tummy issues. Like, not to be graphic, but I will take that liquid calcium, magnesium, and I get up in the morning and everything's fine.
And you're like, my stomach, I could see my abs. Wait, so what is the liquid you're taking?
Blue Bonnet or something.
Is it like at Whole Foods or GNC?
Yeah, Whole Foods.
Okay, so I need to get that. And so you just take it like a shot of it at night?
I take a tablespoon every night. And when I forget.
And do you sleep?
Yeah. I also take sleep gummies. I do take sleep gummies.
Okay.
Because I'm a very light sleeper. But yeah, no, that really works. And I notice like also when I take it, like I don't have like the aches and pains, and I don't like, for a while I was getting so many Charlie horses that were driving me crazy.
Yeah. Well, and they're saying that the majority of people are actually magnesium deficient. We're deficient in a lot of things, but magnesium was one of these big things because it's never like that thing that you wanted to think to take. You know what I mean? Like I do, like I just went and got, today before this podcast, I went and I had to go run an errand and I picked up B12 because I wasn't taking B12 and I was
very
getting a little
important to take your Bs.
Well, you want to know why I started taking it? Because I was on Google and I'm Googling, like, I'm starting to notice gray hair and I'm like, how do you stop gray hair? And one of the things is B12 and I was like, done.
So I'm dark, so I don't think I get gray, but I don't think, but I did hear there's a liquid vitamin. Oh, I wonder if I can find it. I know I'm like on my phone now trying to find it. There's a liquid vitamin. Let's see. Here, hold on.
And like, oh, it's stress and all that, but like if you're deficient in things.
Liquid. I'm going to find it right now. Okay, here it is. Mary Ruth Organics. Mary Ruth. Her line is supposed to be phenomenal, and her multivitamins are supposed to stop the gray hairs.
Because I'm noticing a few, and I'm like, what the heck?
I've had gray hairs popping up since I was in my late 20s.
It's definitely like I've been pretty lucky that they haven't really showed up till now. But usually I'm like, I don't mind like my roots.
But see, when
the grays are coming in, I'm like, God.
Yeah, when you're blonde, you don't normally notice, but when you're dark, when I started coloring my hair, I was like 30.
Yeah, I know it happens. They probably showed up earlier, but I just started noticing. There's probably more that have showed up. So that's why I picked up the B12.
Wait till you get a gray hair in your eyebrow.
I think I've had one like on a random one that popped on.
Oh my God, I know. And there's other places where I've seen a gray hair and I'm like, what the? No.
In your hoo-ha? I saw one in my hoo-ha one time and I was like, oh my God, nobody saw it. Nobody saw it but me. Nobody has to know. Now the whole podcast knows.
Or waxed or
yeah. I know. It's like crazy. It's crazy. So let's get back to the importance of protein. Okay. Because I think a lot of women, especially women, don't necessarily know this, and they're thinking, oh, I had some protein, but you have like the amount of protein you need is crazy.
You're
It's like
supposed to have whatever your body weight is. That's how many, if I'm understanding this correctly.
yes.
Whatever you weigh, that's the amount of protein you need every day.
Yes, exactly. So I remember when I was told this by a trainer at my gym, I was like, how the hell am I going to do that? But when you start seeing like, and you want your muscles to build and you want to have a better, like more fit body, then all of a sudden when I'm shopping or I'm looking at the menus or wherever I'm at, I'm looking for the protein stuff. So now instead of skipping breakfast, I'm eating 3 hard-boiled eggs.
You have to.
Yeah.
But
And
have
then
something with the hard-boiled eggs. Don't just have the hard-boiled eggs. Like it's okay to have bacon with them, or have like
I love bacon.
Yeah, but that's fine. Make sure you have like healthy fats with that too. Don't just have the hard-boiled eggs. Like have something with it.
Yeah, no, and I love the bacon. And I didn't really used to eat steak, and now I've been on like a steak kick. So once a week now, I go for steak.
I love steak. I'm obsessed with Wagyu beef. So like when I had some sent to me by New York Valley Wagyu, sent me like a whole bunch of stuff, and I was just like, oh my
God. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, you're like, I need this. Yeah, so you're supposed to have that, because what it does is it fills you up more so you don't pointless eat, and also it helps build your muscle, so you're just going to have a better like body and all that stuff. And then the heavy weights, I think some women are like, well, I don't want to get bulky and look too big. Like you really won't. I mean, if you keep like jacking up the weight, maybe you will, but like you can stop at 15 pounds curling. You know what I mean? You don't have to get up to 35.
Yeah, I know Andy Stern of Rumble, he's always like, okay, you can go to 20. Like he gets pretty excited like when I'm in his class and I lift up the 20 weights. He's like, all right, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
That I'm finally getting back to again. But normally it's 10-pound weights or 12-pound weights that I have at home.
Mm-hmm.
But when I do Rumble classes, I try and do the 15 and 20s. I will have the lighter weights too. So
yeah, because it's
Pilates too. Like I love going to SLT and using the reformer.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. And I think it's good to switch it up, because then you're not always like getting bored. So for me this year, I've decided, I'm like, okay, when I'm going to work out, I'm going to do 2 muscle groups. I pick 2 muscle groups per workout. So like back and biceps, and then chest and triceps, and then legs and shoulders. And then I'll try to get those in twice if I can.
Or you can just do, upper body one day and lower body the one day.
Yeah. But I'm trying to like build like more definition, I think. So I started working out with a friend of mine. I think it also helps when you find a workout partner that kind of holds you accountable. Yeah. Like, hey, I'm going to be here. You better be here. It makes it more fun. It makes it, but I've definitely noticed like certain times at the gym. I go to the Lifetime Fitness where I'm at right now. And it's very nice. But at certain times of the night, it becomes very meatheady. So it's very different based on my schedule. You go from the housewives to the meatheads to the teenagers.
Yeah, I like having a trainer, and I've only worked out with Kenny a few times. Kenny Santucci is one of the top trainers here in New York, and I absolutely love him, and I love training with him. But I like the one-on-one. So
yeah,
I'd rather train one-on-one and then do like my other stuff.
Well, exactly. And a lot of people, obviously, with our economy right now, like you can't really afford a trainer, but sometimes I think it's helpful to get a trainer, like, for 1 week, get them 2 or 3 times to have them show you and write down what you need to do. And then you can do it on your own. And then when you can afford it, you can bring it back a month later or 2 months later to like change up the routine.
Right.
So yeah, it's always an interesting thing. So let's talk about another one of our favorite topics, which is skin treatments, because you and I talked offline, and I had finally gotten the courage to do Morpheus 8.
I'm so excited that you had that done. I'm so jealous.
I can't wait to see the results. They said it'll be like February 1st. Thank you.
We were talking about, because I get Botox for my migraines, and she does a horrible job, and I have a boxed Botox eye right now.
Oh,
but a couple of years ago, I had all the filler. A friend of mine is an esthetician, and she needed a model, and she did everything. And
wow!
I said to my sister, I will never get my fucking lips done again, because the whole process, it wasn't that it hurt, but then afterwards you're so swollen, like you can't eat, you can't even like really drink water, like your lips are. And now that it's gone, I want my lips back.
Mm-hmm. Well, exactly. So Morpheus won't give you bigger lips, but Morpheus, what I learned from this whole thing, will prevent the need for filler in the face.
That's fabulous.
So you won't need like the jawline filler, which looks completely unnatural. Don't do that. If you have, just
They did everything.
Everything. Okay. And then you don't need them here.
I'll show you the
you
before
don't need
and after
anything.
They'll show you the pictures. I will show you.
Yeah, because I was telling my mother, I was like, because she was like, oh, how much is the Morpheus? I'm like, well, first time you do 3 sessions. But I said, if you break it down, it is actually, one Morpheus treatment is actually cheaper really than a syringe of filler.
Oh yeah, it totally is.
And most places, most people need 2. So it's actually cheaper, and you're actually like not putting a foreign substance in your body. It's creating radio frequency that's not a foreign substance that will get your own body to act like a teenager. So you're going to produce more collagen, more. So you don't have to worry about your face being unbalanced and all that bullshit, or looking like, a Palm Beach housewife. No offense, I love Palm Beach, but they look a little poofy down there. You don't want to look like that. So I was like, why wouldn't people do Morpheus? And she's like, because people want instant gratification. They don't want to deal with the pain, and they can't wait a month and then multiple treatments to have it done. But I'm like, wouldn't you just want this to happen? But I've already noticed like my forehead is like not moving as much. Like my under eyes are still a little like swollen because they hit you hard. But my neck still has like the grains. It's still a little sore. It was a week. But yeah, you can start to feel like things like starting to
there's
move.
So many different treatments now. There's the Fraxel.
Oh, yeah, I've had that. I've had Halo.
There's so many of them. There's that other one, the light, and you said it, I'd remember. I know it. It's like
well, there's the CO2, which is pretty intense. That's more intense than this, but like it's not going to lift you. It's just basically going to burn your face off.
So my dream is to go to LA and have Dr. Jason Diamond do his diamond rejuvenation facial, because
yes,
it's supposed to be fabulous.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I remember I went on a date with a surgeon in Colorado, and he was saying that some of his best friends are these plastic surgeons, and what a great business it is. And he goes, I always go out to California, and they're always telling me all this stuff. And I was like, are you friends with Dr. Jason Diamond? And he was like, no. I'm like, damn it, because I was thinking of you, because we had that call, But anyways, you guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we are going to be right back to continue this episode of Next to Madison.
Hey, it's your host, Madison Malloy. Just wanted to remind you to please rate, subscribe, review to the podcast. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Next to Madison, for all the videos of the podcast. And please share if an episode impacts you. It helps us so much when more people can discover the show, so we can keep bringing you amazing content. Now back to the program.
We are back. We left off talking about skincare treatments. I was sharing my Morpheus story, and Lisa was talking about her filler adventure. I am a proponent of doing the Morpheus. It is a lot of pain. I took 2 Vicodins. They gave me lidocaine injections. They gave me numbing cream, and I still felt the pain, but I think I have a low pain tolerance, and if I can get through it, I feel like anyone can get through it. But make sure you go to a place that does lidocaine injections and also does let you take a pain pill. So just make sure you don't drive yourself. But what are some other treatments that you kind of recommend for men and women, because men need to look good too. They want to look good.
I love the hydrofacials.
Yeah, those are good for like a quick boost, and there's no downtime.
Yeah, love the hydrofacials. Joanna Vargas and Tina Martin or Tracy Martin, are like the best facials in the city. They're expensive, but they're well worth it.
Okay.
I love doing different face masks. I don't know if you've noticed since the new year, I started doing, I'm trying a new face mask every week, because that's one of my, I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions. But one of the things that I promised myself, besides moving my body the way I used to every day, is trying a new face mask, because I need things to help. Again, when you get to a certain age, things change. There's not a damn thing you can do about it. So I've been trying new face masks, and that does a lot for me. I really enjoy them. But my go-to facial is the hydrofacial.
Okay. Yeah. And that's something that could be
Pretty
done.
much do it every other month.
Okay. So that's it.
But I do want to invest and do like the Morpheus or the Fraxel. I just haven't figured out which one is best for me.
I would do, because I have done Fraxel, I have done Halo, which is kind of similar to Fraxel. I would do the Morpheus because you're still getting the benefits that like a Fraxel and a Halo kind of give you, which is the shrinking of the pores, the improved texture and skin tone, minimization of any like sunspots or pigmentations or scars. But you're also getting the benefits of the induced like collagen production and the tightening. So I would go that route.
I also take collagen every day too. Do you take collagen every day?
I try to remember. I have the Vital Proteins and I try to stick that bad boy in my coffee, but sometimes I forget if it's not out. So I always try to leave it by the coffee maker. Because it's not just, I think collagen also is like, it's not just important for your hair, your skin, and your nails, but it's also helps your joints. I know that I am not running anymore, but when I was running, I would have kind of pain in my left knee, and I'm having less pain when I take the collagen, which is.
And then when you start adding the calcium to it at night, watch.
Okay, so I got to go to Whole Foods. I got to go get gas. I got to go to Whole Foods, and I got to get this calcium. I got a whole list of things to buy. So this is always good. Okay, so what has been, I know you just started it, but what has been your favorite mask, at-home mask so far?
The Pacifica masks.
The Pacifics?
The Pacifica masks, yeah.
Oh, okay. Are there multiple kinds?
Yeah, that was the first mask. Actually, I just bought Holt.
She is finding the mask because and guys, if you're listening to this, please don't tune out, because this is all for you too. Obviously, you know the importance of protein, you know the importance of lifting weights, but guys also want to look good. There's a whole phenomenon of Botox, which is a lot of guys are now doing Botox. Don't do too much because you start to look a little funky. But yeah, these masks are good for.
Right here, I didn't even have to leave. Okay, so Pacifica.
You go to our YouTube to see these, by the way, our YouTube channel next to Madison, and you can watch the video of this episode if you're listening to it on the audio version. Let me see. Okay, so we've got, those look like eye mask.
These are eye and lip. This brand is phenomenal. They were out of their face mask.
Okay.
I didn't get it because I go to Ulta, because it's around, Ulta and Sephora are both around the corner.
Okay.
Not a good thing.
Right. Not for your bank account, but good for your skin.
So this brand I love.
Okay, so that's kind of the one you would
going back to them. I keep going back to this brand.
Okay, so that's good to know, because there's so many of them out there, and it's like, how do you choose? And that's how it is with like skincare too. And I used to get really frustrated because I was like, they should go in and test all these brands, and if they don't match what they're saying.
Paula's Choice is a great skincare line.
Yes, I've heard that. But for me, I've now switched all to medical grade.
Cool. What are you using?
So SkinCeuticals, the vitamin C Ferulic serum. I use an iOS active serum at night from I think it's iOS Clinical. It's the brand. I have an Amazon page as well. If you guys go to my Instagram page, Real Madison Malloy, and you click on my link tree, you'll see that I've linked all those products in there. The Skin Better like moisturizer is amazing. You only need literally 1 or 2 pumps and it covers everything.
What's it called?
Greasy. It's called Skin
You have to send that
Science or Skin Better. Yeah, so those are all on that Amazon, but I'll send them to you. But I think it's important, like especially after the age of 35, that you do use medical grade, because you're just gonna get more benefit. When you go into Sephora, it's great for makeup, but a lot of the brands that are in there just aren't going to give you the results you're looking for.
I agree.
Yeah, it's important to your at-home care is just as important as your going to an office care and like getting that extra boost. Because it's not all genetics. It's like a lot of like, you gotta work at it. And people say, oh, you have great skin, like, you look phenomenal, you have no lines. It's like, but I've been obsessed with this stuff since I was like 26 years old. And, I'm always trying to find the next best thing, and there's more technology and I want to try them and blah, blah, blah. Hopefully I'll blow up and people will just want to give it to me for free. But right now,
there's so many influencers I know that get so much free stuff and free treatment. And then I'll have so-and-so on the podcast. Maybe I can get like a free treatment or this or that. Like, it's like,
yeah, I know it's bananas.
One of my friends got the Morpheus for free.
How many followers did she have?
She has like 250,000 followers.
Yeah, so that would probably be it. Because I remember when I did the Morpheus, I didn't really bring it up because I didn't want to be like just seen at that moment. But they were like, oh, can we use your photos for like to show in office? And I go, absolutely not. If you're paying me, yes. If you're not, no. And they were like, okay, no problem. And then they were like, oh, we're going to look at your stuff and see what else we can do. So I'd already paid for the Morpheus, but maybe they can do IPLs or whatnot. But yeah, it's always important to kind of, that's, the benefit of social media. It has many negative effects, but it has positive effects.
And same, no, it does. And like a lot of people tell me you should be on TikTok, And I just can't get into the TikTok. I do have a TikTok page.
It's just exhausting, all this stuff.
But it's everything. But now I also work. So, I mean, I'm not going to bring up politics, but I work for a right television show. Like I work for a politic show, social media producer. So yeah. I got to tell you, like you hear things and you see things and like, okay. Like, so it's kind of like, with social media and the things that I see with like everything that's going on with TikTok and stuff, it's like, okay.
Yes. And I actually saw something oddly enough and funny enough on TikTok. I do love my TikTok because they've got my algorithm pretty well packed, right? I get a lot of Jesus quotes and Christian and prayers. I get a lot of positivity, affirmations, and personal development stuff. I get a lot of skincare treatments. Sometimes like dating advice shows up. I'm like, are you listening to my phone calls? Because I do not search this. And then, but sometimes I'll go in because you can find some fun stuff on there. Like I did 2023 like predictions. I was trying to find like the thing. Anyways, one of the predictions from like 2 major accounts was that TikTok would be banned in 2023. Within the year because of the threat from China, which is real, right? So I think I don't think maybe it'll be like it'll be banned, but I think a company.
Oh no, I think it's gonna go bye-bye.
Yeah, well, it'll go bye-bye, but I think that would be the opportune moment for a tech company to come in and be like, whoop, here you go. This is what we have. We're secure. We're in the US. We have this. We're not, everything's like, nothing's being shared, it's encrypted, blah, blah, blah. So that could be a huge opportunity for the
tech. Would you also notice, like when you're talking to your friends on the phone about something, and then all of a sudden you get some kind of notification or ad about what you were just talking about?
Yeah, because it's always listening to you. I remember I used to like during just to like, it was funny during COVID, I would like say conspiracy theories in my phone. And I was like, it's not blah, 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 just to see if anyone like COVID police would show up to my house. But like, they were funny. I'd be like, this is the flu. It's not real. It's not real. Bill Gates, you're not real. Stops. And like, nobody showed up.
Well, and I have a friend who really believes in conspiracy theories. And I've always told her,
well, like, look, what's the difference between the truth and the conspiracy theory? 6 months.
Well, so thing. I'm all for great, but I need to see something that they say. It has to happen. I'm waiting for that. Well, Lisa, you don't know. Did that? Okay, but nothing is happening. Nothing. And they have some great theories. They have some great things. There was a thing about all this money that they were going to get every week. Okay, great. Fabulous. Where the fuck is it? Like, that's all I'm saying.
Well, that's why I think a lot of people are frustrated, because now, like with Elon taking over Twitter, a lot of stuff is being exposed, a lot of lies, a lot of truth that was suppressed, people that were hurt. But I was all excited when all this stuff was coming out, and I'm like, you know what? The truth will prevail. Jesus will win. God will win. Every faith, love always wins. Like, you can't get away with stuff too long. Everything will be exposed. But then all of a sudden, like, things are unraveling, but nobody's being held accountable. And until that happens, I don't want to see it anymore, because I'm just frustrated, and I want to focus my energy on like the positive things in my life. And I wrote in my book where I'm like, you want to have a happy life? Turn the fucking news off. Just shut it off. Walk outside, everything's good. Turn on the TV, the world's falling apart. Walk outside, say hi to your neighbor, the world's beautiful. It's like two different planets. It's like what you feed your energy to, right? Exactly. I don't need to know. Sometimes I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't need to know where all the wars are going on. I don't need to know how many people died. I don't need to know anymore. I need to pray and know that God is in control. And I just have to do the best I can to spread kindness and joy in my life. And I don't want to fill myself with negativity. So,
well, that's why I did. And that's exactly it. Because that's why, like, for me, that's why I've cut so many people out of my life. Like, I have to stay in my high vibrational place. I have to live in this delusional mindset. And if people that are watching and listening think I'm crazy, I'm sorry. But it's like, I have to do me, and I have to stay in a certain spot knowing that everything is going to work out, because the man upstairs, universe, whatever, they have control. They already know. It's in your Akashic records. You know everything. I know that they keep saying, like, you know, we're going to not have wildlife here soon, and we're not going to have this. Look, Mother Earth is fucking dying right now. Like, it's January. It's where are we in? What is it? February?
February. We're in February now. Yeah.
I'm in New York. It hasn't snowed once. When I moved here in 2012, that first winter, it started snowing in October, and it didn't stop till the end of March. My first 3 years here, I was fucking miserable. I'm from LA. Like, come on. And it wasn't until like 2017 is when it was very mild here, and that, you know, and then the last few years, we haven't had winter. We haven't had this. It's like, it was 60 degrees last week.
Yeah, right. So it is changing. I do enjoy those random 60 degree, 70 degree days, though. Selfishly, I kind of am like, and then it goes back.
I like winter. I like seasons. Like,
maybe you should go to Chicago. I heard it's freezing and snows all the time there.
I'll come to Denver. I love Denver.
We're like have gotten a lot of snow, and usually the sun is so strong and it gets hot.
Well, even in Seattle, where my family is. Yeah, Seattle, where my family is. I mean, they have so much snow. Yeah.
So it's crazy stuff. Okay. So tell people where they can find your 2 podcasts and to follow you on Instagram and all that good stuff before we wrap up.
Please follow me on the Fitness Diaries Podcast.
Okay.
You can subscribe and like the channel. I have new episodes coming out next month in February. And Madison will be on.
Yay!
When is she coming? You're coming out, I think, the 16th. And I'm going to be doing live IGs and then pulling the audio. So that will be fun. And then Meeting Her with Lisa is just strictly IG. So you can head over there and follow that. But that's not a podcast. I could make it a podcast. And that's it.
Okay. Well, I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us and sharing all your health and wellness and mantras and skincare and your high vibrational positive being. Keep being yourself. Don't care what people think. Fuck them, right? You got to do you. Because the truth of the matter is, and I tell people this, 2 to 3 months after you die, you'll pretty much be forgotten about. So you might as well live the best life for you.
That's right.
So yeah, thank you for being on the show, and thank you everybody
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And thank you everybody who is listening wherever you may be. We will see you next time to find out who's next.
Hey, your host here, Madison Malloy. Please make sure to subscribe to the show on all podcast platforms, and please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. Also, if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at contact@next2madison.com. I thank you again for listening. Bye.